Hello and welcome to QuestLore, a family Lorcana podcast where each and every week we come to you and talk about all things Lorcana. I'm Matt.
I'm Malcolm.
I'm Emmett.
And I'm Jen.
And this week is the release of Archazia's Island.
Archazia's Island coming out tomorrow.
Yep, we're recording this on Thursday, so odds are you're listening to it. And Archazia's Island has been released. It's available in your local friendly game stores. Maybe even not your friendly ones, but most of your game stores should be friendly.
Oh, yeah, the game stores, yeah.
So they're out there. If you don't happen to live next to a local game store, I'm sorry. You should probably move. And they'll be out in the big box stores in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
So you can look for it there. We're excited. It's been a long time since the new set. It's been since November, since before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So it's been a while. That's why everyone's kind of really anxious for these cards.
Yes.
Even though there isn't really a big tournament to plan for. Doesn't
matter. They're exciting.
It's a great release weekend. It's awesome because you get a bunch of limited events. You get to open up a whole bunch of packs. I hope everyone finds the cards they're looking for, which is probably the Legendary Tamatoa. Yes. I know the Enchanted is going to be sought after. The regular Legendary will be sought after. Definitely. The Aurora one has been sought after quite a bit, the Enchanted version of that Aurora, because it is a Disney princess and it looks really, really cool.
Mm-hmm. I swear to God, they're probably going to be POV if we open up Tamatoa Legend. Oh my gosh, we got Tamatoa Legend! I mean Enchanted!
Yeah, we're probably just going to get Tramp. Tramp will probably be our Enchanted. That's what we're going to end up getting. The least favorable looking one. Or Devil's Eye Diamond. Probably what we end up with. But we'll be opening up plenty of packs, and we're going to be playing in some stuff this weekend. But before that, we did have one last league day with the Azurite C.
How did it go? Not good.
I won.
Jen
Went
won.
great for me.
Yep.
I ended up winning, so that was awesome. Haven't done that in a while.
Yeah.
So I won the whole week, went 3-0.
Her.
Yeah, I might have beat both of my children up.
Yep,
to
I don't
win.
like Steel Song.
But that's okay. Like, I will take
I
the
hate actions.
win.
Actions, bye-bye.
It was another Steel Song victory for Jen. I was playing Steel Song too. I went 2-1. Was able to beat up on Amethyst Emerald, then beat up on Amethyst Steel. But then I ran into Ruby Sapphire.
Ruby Sapphire. See, I beat Ruby Sapphire, so that's what my first game was Ruby Sapphire.
We are gathered
and
here.
I beat them, so.
You were playing the Shark Hotel version.
Yes.
The Shark Manor, as I like to call it. Where they're playing mostly sharks and manors.
Yes.
And you can go, your deck is designed to go fast.
We are gathered here today.
Stop. Dad's in the middle of talking.
So you were able to take that down.
Yes.
Malcolm, how are you doing all the time?
I got beat up by Steel Song and Whirlpool. They don't like my deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that can be rough for you.
And then
for
I
both
got
of
a
them.
bye, so.
Yeah. Oh, well. I know I was playing against the more traditional Ruby Sapphire is what got me. Not only did I lose the dice roll, which I lost every single game on Sunday. No dice roll wins for me. But I missed 1-drops on both the games where I lost, so it's like against them, it's like, oh no, I've already lost.
Yeah.
It's very hard to not just say, let's go to the next game right away when that happens. But it's important to play it out and try to get. I still was able to, I got up to 15 lore in both of those games, so it was in striking distance.
Yes.
Just couldn't close it out.
How did I do? I did okay. I mean, I went 2-1.
According to how you said it, the way you started out, it was the most terrible day.
He did really well. I played him in the last match because we were both.
You played me in the last match. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, so we are gathered here today to say goodbye to Mufasa. Ruby Amber was my favorite deck, but now it's gone.
It's not gone. It's just not going to be good.
Gone. It's just going to be hard to be as good unless everybody starts really, really teching against actions.
Yes.
In which case, Mufasa could take a jump back.
Yes.
But yeah, there are a lot of the decks that have been prevalent in the past several sets. That have been prevalent since the beginning. Even didn't get any help this time around with Archazia's Island. And we're going to be taking a look at some of those decks today. I know The big thing is that we have the opening weekend where we're not going to have to play with any constructed stuff. We're going to a starter deck tournament tonight.
Yep.
I'm doing a draft tomorrow.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I want to
But during the workday?
No, at night. While you guys
Oh,
at
we
rehearsal.
are. Oh, that's why we're at rehearsal. I forgot.
Yeah. And then there's a sealed event that we're doing on Sunday in place of regular league day. And then my Wednesday league is doing Pack Rush instead of regular league. So we have a week to kind of figure out our decks. There's actually a really big win multi-case tournament going on in Florida this weekend that is set sevens legal. So
Wow.
it's pretty good, pretty kind of smart thinking by that store
Yeah.
because they probably opened a whole bunch of packs and hey, you got to come buy these legendaries if you want to compete.
Yeah.
I know I saw somebody opening up 2 cases, basically looking for the cards that they'll need to compete in that tournament. So it's a lot. It's all going on. But we are going to talk today about some of the decks from Archazia's island that you're going to see in your first constructed events. Now, a lot of your stores may allow proxies, so you may see these right away. You may not see some of these for a couple of weeks. You may see some kind of shell of these with some extra cards thrown in that seem like, oh, why are you still running that? Well, because they don't have 4 Tamatoas, right?
Sure.
And you won't see these decks exactly, but these are kind of the archetypes that you will probably see. So let's take a look. So first up, of course, is going to be
Of course, Ruby Sapphire.
Ruby Sapphire
Lorcana
items.
Villain. Best name. Lorcana Villain.
Yes, I got a lot of these from Baker, Lorcana Villain. He's the caster for the EU side of things. And then I found some more on Dreamborn. So you can find all these decks there.
So this is called Ruby Sapphire Items.
Yep, Ruby Sapphire items. So this is different than the current popular Shark and Manor builds. So it's not trying to build to Shark and then Shark plays a ton of actions. This one is relying on items. So you will see things like the new Tamatoa that can bring back a couple items, the Scrooge McDuck that you can bring in by just tapping for the items. It's also relying on Sapphire Coil and Sisu for a lot of its removal. So both the little Sisu, the big Sisu brawls suddenly become much more potent when you have Sapphire Coil, which removes 2 strength every time you ink. So they've also brought back Fishbone Quill, so that you can ink twice every turn, target multiple things, and then use a regular human Sisu to banish something really big. So a really kind of vicious deck sometimes that can be, it's kind of sometimes be impressive when you see a Chernobog I saw taken out by a human Sisu in one game where they were practicing. So.
Right. And I mean using Medusa, of course, when, if you've removed attack from anybody, then Medusa can take out more stuff too.
Yep.
Wait, they're not playing the bell that you
So
discard
not
items
so much in this one.
And they're not playing Dime because they're not looking to necessarily.
No,
only
Dime's there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
more
see-
looking for the Diamond Tamatoa. Big
I see
Tamatoa
it.
is your kind of win conditions.
Right.
Because there are a lot more items in this build than there are in the regular build. They're
Right.
also requiring using Workshop now. When Workshop is when you play an item, you pay 1 ink, you draw a card. So they are using some cards from the past to kind of build a new type of Sapphire item deck than what we've seen before. So you'll definitely see this one in a lot of places, as well as the Shark Manor, because that has been getting popular. I think it went from 1 person playing at our store to all of a sudden 4 people were playing it at our store this past weekend.
Yep.
The other thing you'll see is Sapphire Steel Workshop. So this one is playing the bell, and the reason that this one's playing the bell is that it lets you deal with some of the more aggro decks right away with Bell, and they're playing more items that can give you cards back because they have both the Popsicle and the Fortisphere. This one is trying to control the early game with things like Twin Fire, with Grab Your Swords, Along Came Zeus to kind of take out all the early stuff that gets played out, the big Tinkerbell, and then it uses things like Aerial and Dime to basically get a win really quickly. Lots of different versions of this floating around. I've seen versions with Whole New World. I've seen versions with Oswald. I've seen lots of different ways.
Oswald?
Yep, that this is getting built. So definitely going to see a lot of Sapphire. It's either going to be paired with Ruby or it's going to be paired with Steel. The other version of Sapphire Steel is known as the Kiwi version. This is one where it's not trying to ramp. It's basically just playing things on curve. so that you go basically Mulan into Calhoun or Smee, and then you're able to play an Alice on turn 3. You play Pluto on turn 4. You give him Ward with Alice, so he's now a warded bodyguard, 5/5, that you can't ping anymore to remove some of his damage. You've got to run full things into him, and he's going to take things out. And then you get up to Tamatoa. He brings back items to keep drawing cards, and then you can get mana down to get some quick lore. So this is more of a simplified version of Blue Steel.
More of a lower floor.
Yep. It's basically just trying to gain lore based on tempo. Up next is a version of Steel Song that is going away from like the Robin Hood package, and it's trying out like the new Bolt package, and also looking at using Simba. So the Bolt is you get additional lore when you ready him for undamaged characters. So if you ever ready him and you have undamaged characters, you get additional lore. So you can use Simba, you can use Sven to ready him and get lore. So this is more of a getting quick bursts of lore character type deck instead of the traditional Steel Song, which was more control the board slowly and then start questing out. This is kind of control the board with the early game. You've got some late game removal with a Long Cane Zeus. Reset all your stuff with a whole new world. But get quick bursts of lore by using Bolt and readying him with Simba and with Sven.
What does Be Our Guest do again?
Be Our Guest lets you look at cards and then you take a character. If you look at top 4 cards and you take a character if it's a character.
Okay, and then what's that one at the end? Next to
Try
strength.
Everything. I don't remember what Try Everything is, and I can't read from here.
I'm just surprised that there's no. I'm just surprised that, like, I like the thought of a lot of it. What's that next to the Ariel?
That's that Aurora. That's a singer. So
The new Aurora singer. Yeah. I wanted to put her on my deck. I get that. I'm just wondering why that Simba instead of the bodyguard Simba, but whatever. That's not neither here nor there. The new Gantu is for item removal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not item removal. They have to pay more for items and actions.
That's what it is.
Right?
They have to pay more for items and actions, right?
Yeah.
So that's why, because I was wondering why they don't have the, like there's no, I find in my Platinum, which I feel like it might need to happen, at least one of them. And then I also feel like World's Greatest Criminal Mind needs to come back.
Yeah, there's some interesting choices in this deck. I'm not sure I would build it the exact same way, but the thought of maybe going with the Simba package to ready up your Bolt package is something worth looking at.
Oh,
I don't know if it's great.
100%. Like I get it. I feel like I could work with this with some tweaks. I've definitely been thinking about putting in that Gantu and the new Gantu and the new Aurora for sure. And I do like the Sven and the Simba package. Because again, like I do like playing the Pluto, but if you're going to play Pluto, then Simba doesn't make sense. So you got to choose one or the other. And I think this is a way to make it work with the Simba.
Yeah. And the reason you're playing the 1-drop Simba is just for the extra 1-drop because you're
removing the Robin Hoods.
Yeah, and Bolt's a 2-drop.
Sure.
So you need something on 1, you need something on 2. That's all you've really got there.
Sure.
So you want some.
Yeah, you definitely need the 1-drop, especially because we're getting rid of daisies too. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, interesting. A bit, yeah.
I'm not, like I said, I definitely I'd have to look at the Try Everything, but I doubt I would include it. I doubt I would include Be Our Guest. I'd probably go 2 copies of World's Greatest Criminal Mind.
I agree.
Throw in.
And again, I still feel like I would still want some daisies in there because I feel like daisies are going to be so good against blue, getting those items to the bottom of the deck.
I mean, yeah, either 2 daisies or 2 Ursulas, depending on how you want to play it.
Yeah.
Because having like 3 singers on board when you play an Ariel, so that you have 2 singers that can sing any of the songs that she hits is really good.
Yeah.
To then sing Whole New World, then you have those 2 singers to play with during your next turn to shoot down whatever they've played. So it's an interesting take. Worth exploring, I think. I
100% agree as well. I think I might make a few tweaks to it, but I I like the overall thought of especially with the Sven and the Simba and the bolts. I like that.
All right, let's take a look at something else. So here is a more a color combination that hasn't seen a lot of play. I have seen it being played recently. This is the Mushu deck for set 7. It's red steel, so it is taking advantage of the Mushu red steel card. So that Mushu card, when you're challenging, your character gets resist +2. They also gain 2 lore when they banish a character in a challenge. And that goes to all your characters that you have in play. So when you throw this,
medallion weights are getting play.
so that's the bad part about red steel is you've got lousy card draw. So even this one's trying a whole new world, which you don't necessarily want to do, but it's just a necessary evil.
Yeah.
The big combo for this comes with Fan the Flames and One Last Hope and the Maui Shark.
Okay.
So this is kind of the deadly combo, especially if you've got that Mushu out too. If you play One Last Hope, you're going to give your Maui Shark resist 2, and he can challenge readied characters.
Yikes.
And then he'll have resist 4 if you've got Mushu, because Mushu gives resist 2 to challenging characters.
Right.
So he's not going to take any damage, right? Because he's got resist 4. And then he can bring back actions. So he's getting 2 lore for every person he's attacking because of Mushu. And then you play Fan the Flames. So Fan the Flames lets you ready a character. So once you play Fan the Flames, it's in your discard, and you can attack characters. So even if you left all your characters readied so that they didn't get attacked by Shark, you play One Last Hope on the Shark. He's not taking any damage. He can attack readied players. You attack someone. Play Fan the Flames. Ready him. Fan the Flames is now on this card. You attack someone else. Bring back Fan the Flames. Ready your Shark. Attack someone. Bring back Fan the Flames. Ready the Shark. Attack someone. And you're gaining 2 lore every single time you do this. 3 actually, because you're playing Fan the Flames and Maui Shark's on board.
Wow.
So it can get a lot of lore really quickly that you can almost not plan for entirely.
Excuse me.
Interesting.
Sneaky lore.
Yes, Sneaky Lore is the name of the game here. Basically, you have to do your best to control their early stuff and make it non-effective so that once Shark comes out, you can just kind of blast him out of the sky with something. Because if they get that combo off, it can be pretty deadly.
Yeah. Heck, I can even see them doing that with Whole New World.
Yep.
And then, like, is somebody playing blue that deck them out,
Oh, wow, yeah.
right?
That's something you could do, yeah.
I've decked people out with Whole New World before, playing blue.
Sure. Next, a color combination that we didn't see a whole lot of there was some tryings of it, but basically the Baja Blast set. So that's green and blue together. This deck is both ramp and not ramp. No, this one isn't playing Ink Geyser. So it's not too much here. There is a version of this that does play Ink Geyser, where it's kind of like, I'm going to play a bunch of characters in Ink Geyser. But the problem with Ink Geyser, while it is effective, it's effective against blue decks. Against every other deck, it's not effective.
Sure.
Because then they're just going to get a bunch of characters back and they're going to start regularly inking and playing cards. This one is more of the shift type version. So it's using things like Under the Sea with Sapphire Coil to kind of lower people's characters and then play Under the Sea and send them all to your bottom of your deck. It's using the Baymax shift. It's using the Clarabelle shift. It's using the Muses to bounce things back to your hand. And then it's using Bend to Your Will. Bend to My Will to kind of discard your hand. So it's bounce all your cards back to your hand with like You're Welcome with the Muses. And then Bend to My Will to make you discard everything they bounced back to your hand. And it's got that Baymax Universal Shift to kind of get a bigger character out whenever they need it.
Like, I'll be honest, I'm kind of surprised. I thought, and I wouldn't be surprised too now if with that Baymax Universal Shift and like morphs, I'm surprised that I don't see morph in this deck. But I was sure, like I'm sure that some people are going to be trying to bring Bucky back with the shifting.
I've heard
happening.
rumors, but I haven't seen anything real.
Because again, his ability now is it only works on a shift. But I mean, if you're playing like a big shifting deck where you're shifting a lot, like he could find play again.
Yeah, but he lost Ward.
Yeah,
So
that's his
you can
fault.
just get shot.
And like
Oh, sure.
he's kind of like if you're gonna build like a flood, like the hero deck is much like more like better than playing Bucky again.
That's true.
It would take a lot to get Bucky to work nowadays. Plus, you can't start doing it until turn 4. Really, is the earliest you could actually take advantage of his stuff.
Sure.
So by that time, they've got a board built. They've either got a card draw engine going, or they've got a plan to draw more cards if necessary. So.
Sure.
Because remember, Bucky's now a 3-drop and has no ward.
I forgot they also got rid of his
Yeah.
ward.
Like it worked before because you could start using Bucky on turn 2.
Right.
Right, with the Diablo shift. So, okay, up next. So here's a pirate deck. I've been testing this one out. This one's just fun. I don't think it's great, but it is fun. So this one is using a couple of new abilities. This particular one uses Diablo for some extra card draw. I've got one that's using Doc more for card draw, but it's using Pete, the new 1-drop Pete. So that one will destroy an item every time you play an action that isn't a song. So you play an action, you can destroy their items. So that way, if you get them out on turn 1, you can destroy all of Blue's early items that they're playing. So they can't draw off them later, or destroy them to play a Bell, or tap them all to play a Scrooge. So it's a way to kind of control their items a little bit. And then it's using the new Pete. So when you use the new Pete, he's a space pirate that you can now shift on top of both that Pete, and you can also shift it on top of the referee Pete.
Best beat ever.
When
Wait,
a space pirate-
Pete deck? Pete Clubhouse, Pete Clubhouse.
Yeah, I mean, it's the closest we've gotten to a Pete deck, because it's got 3 Petes.
I also realized that at the same exact moment Malcolm did.
So you
kinda
can
funny.
shift Space Pirate Pete on turn 4 on top of your 3-cost Pete, right? So it shifts on curve. He's a 5/5 that quests for 2, and when he's exerted, all your pirate characters get an extra resist +1.
Nice.
So he turns off any damage to Smee. Also, the opposing player can no longer exert themselves to sing. So it shuts down singers. They have to pay for actions.
No!
So it's a pretty cool card. Additionally, this deck isn't using it. The one I'm using uses the new Captain Smee. That's also a green steel that readies characters when you play actions. It's a pretty cool card because I've been able to use it to essentially gain up to 12 lore in a turn off of having only 2 cards on board. So it can be a really nutty card. It's also using the new Gantu to basically shut down your opponents. Though I'm not sure I like Gantu in this particular deck because you also had to pay more for your actions.
Oh, really?
Is the way it works. So it's not that I don't know if I would go with 4 of in this type of deck. So you have to make sure you
I
understand.
thought it was
Gantu.
items, not actions.
Items and actions.
Oh, so then why would I want them in the singer deck?
Because you can still sing all your songs.
Oh, with the singer.
Right.
It's just paying, you have to pay more.
Yeah, if you're going to hard pay for it, you have to pay more.
Oh, I got you. Okay,
Yep.
that makes sense. But it doesn't affect it if you're singing them.
Correct.
Okay. All right, that's good to know.
Yep.
I'm surprised there's none of the pirate locations on here.
So there's 2 versions of it, one with locations, one without. I've tried the one with locations. I didn't like it.
No?
People just kept going after the locations.
Okay.
And it felt like I was just wasting turns playing these locations when instead I could be playing characters that could threaten the board.
Okay.
Up next, definitely a kind of new archetype. This is Amber Emerald, and it relies on the new Lady card. So this is definitely close to an aggro type deck. So this one has 12 1-drops. It then has another 15 more, 16, 18, 2-drops, more than that actually, now that I'm looking at it. So most of the cards are either 1 or 2 drop. And the reason for that is it plays Lady, the Amber Emerald one, that when you play it, you can bring back 2 cards from your discard that cost 2 or less. So if you've got all these cards, most likely some of them have been attacked at some point. You're going to have them in your discard.
That Ursula is great to bring back to get rid of songs, so you can finally be good against Steel Song. Malcolm. You still got your daisies. You still got your piglets. You can play Baby Pegasus.
Yep, you got the Shift Pegasus on there, so you can make all your little 1-drops, all your little babies, flying babies.
Flying babies.
And they still have your favorite cards like Daisy
and Piglet. I just said that.
and a tiny child.
And Tiny Child, and you can play Morph. You've been wanting to play
a
Morph.
dead tiny
have.
child.
Yeah, that's Zombie Child.
Yeah.
Zombie. That's a zombie
That's
child.
not tiny child. That's a zombie
Flynn's
child.
weird in here.
I think it's just because these two dropped the quest for 2.
Sure, I guess that's true. It's just if you actually quest like I feel like almost everybody plays him for his ability, but
I might
Yeah.
play this deck because I don't really have many options with Ruby Amber.
And then you've got
well, I
Clarabelle
thought
for
you would
card
want to play
draw.
the pirate deck. Yeah, the Clarabelle makes sense.
The Tramp is a decent card here because it lets you draw cards and then discard so you can filter for the ones you want. Then they got one copy of Invited to the Ball so that you can look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Since every card except Invited to the Brawl is a character, you're going to get 2 characters from it.
Yeah.
That's a really good card Unlimited. I like that card Unlimited a lot.
Yes.
Well, we're not going to see it in this.
I know, but like normally, like
Sure.
So this definitely is a new type of aggro deck. I would definitely be on the lookout for it and make sure you're planned for it because people will want to play with the Lady and the Tramp cards. That was a sort of popular movie. I don't know if you're going to have to deal with any plates of spaghetti, but you will have to deal with Lady.
Aw, dang it. I wanted some spaghetti
I wanted to play a spaghetti deck.
Looking at this one, I'm kind of surprised they aren't playing this small. There is a 1-drop Lady and like a 2-ish drop Tramp. So I'm surprised it's not playing those since you have that Lady shift. So the only person you can shift on it is Morph. Though it is a little weird to shift Lady early because you might not have enough in your discard to actually get advantage of her ability. So
Sure, absolutely. So that
That could
may
be
be that why.
that's probably why.
Yeah, but I mean, but again, I like the idea, about being able to bring back the Ursula, being able to bring back the, the Piglet, the Day. Like, there's, like, all of those cards. Like, their abilities are great. Even
Yep.
like the Cursed Merfolk too.
Yeah. Let's look at our next one. So discard. Discard is back because it's got Space Pirate Pete as a decent shift target, and since it's so easy to play that on curve, where you have Pete on 3,
Yep.
Space Pirate Pete on 4, and then he can all of a sudden sing "We Don't Talk About Bruno." It is a viable thing to worry about that all of a sudden discard may be back. So
Don't like it.
don't be surprised if you see this once again threatening your local game store.
Dun, dun.
I hate that big Ursula.
Up next, probably after the Amethyst, after the Sapphire decks, I should say. The next most popular deck that you'll probably see is Amethyst Steel. And that is because of one card, and it's the Giant Cobra. So Giant Cobra, for those that don't remember, it's a 4/4 3 cost. When you play it, you can discard a card to gain 2 lore. So it's just adding another card to this deck that is built for gaining lore. It's still going to play the same way, but now it's got even faster, quicker ways to get up to 20 than it did before.
Yeah, so this could be a good one for you too, Malcolm. I mean, you're not playing the Amber, but I think the Seals could work good for you.
Yep, so you could bounce back. It's got the snakes and foxes to bounce back Doc, and bounce back
Yeah.
goats and roses, and the Giant Cobra itself to get things back. But it will cause people to think about, hey, maybe I need to keep one of these songs that kind of target things in case you play a Giant Cobra. Because on turn 3, a 4/4 is hard to deal with, but you can shoot him with anything and he'll die.
They got rid of Rabbit.
Yes, this one doesn't run Rabbit, it runs Doc instead.
Doc for drawing cards.
So the popularity is either Docs or Rabbits. You usually don't run both because you don't want to have to discard a Rabbit to play a Doc.
Yes. But yeah, so I guess for you, Malcolm, I would say, do you prefer, like, which one do you like better? Do you like your Amber cards better, or do you like your Amethyst cards better?
These are two different styles of like Amethyst that
Yeah,
I
so
know.
this,
they
this
are.
has the bounce stuff in it, so it's
Yes.
not exactly the same as what he's been used to. It's something like we'll have to take a look at and decide, hey, what's speaking to you guys? What kind of decks do you guys want to play?
Yeah, I'll figure
Yeah,
it
because
out.
this is a little bit closer to more traditional Amethyst Steel because it does have the bounce, it does have the crab, but I like it. I like using because you could use the crab with the Calhoun, and that would be a really great move. Kind of surprised it's not using Robin Hoods too.
Amethyst Steel has never really used Robin Hood.
I know, but I feel like why not? But
Sure. Okay. Next, I believe this probably is one of our last ones. So Ruby Amethyst got like really got nothing, but it's still here because it was a deck that I like. So I still included it. The only thing that you might see different here is the Queen.
Yeah.
So this Queen is when you tap her, you move 3 cards from your opponent's discard to the bottom of their deck, and you gain 3 lore. If there's a princess in there, you gain 4 lore. A couple of notable things here. Belle is a princess. So if they're playing that new Belle, when she's been already sent to the graveyard once, put her under, you get 4 lore instead of 3. They've also dropped Flynn because of Belle, right? Belle now exists, so Flynn is going to be harder to get off against Sapphire decks. That's really the reason anybody was playing Flynn, was because of Sapphire decks. So now that it's harder to actually get him off, you no longer are going to play with him. So instead of Flynn, they've got LeFou. So LeFou does the same thing as Fan the Flames, where you ready a character. They can't quest, but they can challenge or exert. So that Queen can actually activate twice in a turn, right? You activate her once, move 3 cards, ready her with LeFou, activate her again, do another 3 cards, get another 3 to 4 lore.
Why don't they just play Fan Flames? It costs cheaper than LeFou.
because LeFou's character.
Yeah, LeFou's a character, and there's not a whole lot of great 2-drops that you can really play.
He's a character that can quest
Yep.
in addition to his ability.
Because you're not playing Flynn, so you've got LeFou and you've got Snake as your 2-drops. So you needed something else to take Flynn's place. And that's
And he's not a terrible, sacrifice if you put a, to bounce or and you to put a crab on to give 3 extra strength to get rid of something early.
Yep. And then you've got using King Undisputed to try to get around some of the warded characters, along with Lady Tremaine, that get around the warded characters as well. So, I don't think I had any. Yeah, so those were some of the decks that you might see.
Might?
Yeah.
Really? What about the first one? You think you only might see that?
Okay, the first one, yeah, you're going to see it probably. Depends on who you get paired up with. People might try other things. There
Like
might
if
be
you-
other things to do.
Like if you get paired up with me, there's no way you're gonna see that first deck.
Because you don't like Sapphire.
I mean, I'm fine with that. I would use it, but he won't let me.
I don't think you're ready for it.
It's a complicated deck.
It's very complicated.
Makes lots of decisions.
Hey, I'm a good Wakanda player.
You are a
Probably-
good Lorcana
I'm
player.
probably better than you.
Okay, I wouldn't go so far as that. How many mats have you won?
Max?
How many top 8s have you been in?
1.
One.
He's been in the top 8?
No.
No.
I didn't think so.
Yeah.
I was in the top 4.
I mean, I know you were. That's why I'm
Yes.
not talking to you.
I've actually won a map before.
I won a mat too.
Yeah, you have.
I got it for my birthday.
A Rapunzel mat.
Yep. That was a prize for being a good player during a big, long tournament.
Yeah.
Not for making the top 8.
I won a mat. I got it on my birthday.
So, any thoughts on colors that you guys are leaning towards? You want to stick with the same stuff and just add things to it?
Yes, I'm at.
Go somewhere new?
I really want Amber Sapphire Ward.
An Amber Sapphire Ward type deck?
Yep.
You like
Okay.
that?
We can take a look and see what's available.
Malcolm, what do you think?
Like with Alice, I really like that deck. Me and my friend played Packlish at school, I think, last week.
Where did you get packs?
Eli bought them.
He just brought 4 unopened packs.
No. He just bought a bunch of random cards, stuffed them in the deck, put them there.
Fair enough.
And I used Alice in the Packlish.
Okay.
And yeah, she stayed there for like 3 turns.
Nice. Nice. It's definitely something we can look at putting together. How about you, Malcolm? Any thoughts?
You heard Oswald in there. You sure you don't want to try to play Sapphire? So
I
you can
cannot
Oswald?
play Sapphire.
You can try.
I did try out that Oswald deck I saw. The Lorcanita updated today with set 7 stuff, and I was trying out that Oswald deck and was like, it's okay. There was one turn where I had 2 Oswalds out and I aimed something, and the next 2 cards were both Lucky Dimes. So it was 2 Lucky Dimes on board for free, and then the next turn I threw out a Tamatoa, and I had 7 items, so it was 14 more one turn. Okay. We're good.
We're good.
When it hits, it's amazing. But when it sends like 3 characters to the bottom at the same, like in a row, it's
Yeah.
like this sucks. Why is this here? So, you know, it's all right. But we have a week to think about it and build something. But the earlier you guys let me know, the better.
Okay.
We'll talk about what we decide to build and go with next week. We're going to look at the lore that we're going to learn from all the cards next week, and we'll keep talking about our adventures on Archazia's Island.
Archasia's Island, it comes out tomorrow.
Today, if you're listening on Friday.
Can
Yep.
you hand me that box behind you, dude? 'Cause I did not plan enough.
For trivia.
Only if I get to lead the first
No.
question.
No.
Never. I mean, not never, but not today.
Not today, my good man.
However, if everyone would like to, in the comments, Emmett's birthday is on Sunday.
Yep.
He's going to turn 10. So happy birthday, Emmett.
Also for 4 people who watch BFDI on this channel.
No,
PM
no, we're not talking. Nope. Copyright infringement.
Oh, Lord. Oh, God.
Okay, let's go to trivia. Title character Ralph in Wreck-It Ralph is voiced by who?
Chris Platt.
No.
What is his name? I know what he looks like. He's from All About Raymond. Right?
No.
No?
That's Ray Romano.
No, the other guy.
Oh, it's not him.
No?
He was in Chicago, Step Brothers.
Oh! I know who it is. What's his name?
He's either incredibly funny or incredibly serious.
Yes. I can't remember his name right now.
It is John C. Reilly.
C.
I thought you were about to say John Cena first.
Riley. Not John Cena. John C. Reilly.
In Toy Story 3, as Andy goes off to college, he gives his toys to who?
Bonnie.
Lotso.
Bonnie.
It is Bonnie Anderson specifically. What film features the song The Rainbow Connection?
Rainbow Connection.
No.
No, that's not it at
The
all.
Muppet movie.
Yeah.
Someday we'll find it. The Rainbow Connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Okay, that's enough.
Wow.
About how many balloons does Carl attach to his home so it takes off in the 2009 film Up?
2,763.
A, tens. B, hundreds. C, thousands. D, millions.
It's got to be thousands. It can't be millions. It's got to be thousands.
I'm doing
It's got to be thousands.
C.
Yes, it is thousands.
Because first of all, mathematically, there is no way that he could have done millions overnight.
It's a
I argue it's probably unlikely he could do thousands overnight as well.
I argue
Yes.
it's a
Well, especially with only like 7 tanks of helium.
I argue that it's a Pixar movie.
Sure.
Or
Anyway, all right, anyway.
Maybe he went to the store one day. Maybe he was
Okay,
just
okay,
relaxing in his chair one day and just like, hey, what if I get kicked out of this town?
Come
I'm
on,
gonna buy
come.
all these balloons.
No, okay.
Nope, that's not a good question. They pretty much clearly explain that at the beginning of the movie. When does Lion King 1.5 take place in relation to the original Lion King?
During the actual movie.
It starts before the movie, but then most of it is during the first movie.
Is that it?
And then after?
Yes, it is before, during, and after the original movie. Because he's telling the story, so it's
Yes.
also after.
Yes.
It is a very trick question because it can just be everything. Yes. The answer for that is just
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
yes. Absolutely. Also based off the Lion King. So, anyways, that brings us to a close for the week. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you have enjoyed yourself. I know I have, as I always enjoy spending time with my family.
Oh.
So, yeah. Now I'm going to abandon them and play cards.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal my wife with me, though.
Yes, I'm gonna
Aww. Can you take Oswald with you?
No.
go. No.
Oh. I'm gonna sneak him in your backpack.
Okay.
I'm gonna speak. Actually, I don't want to speak.
Good.
Okay, yes. Don't. The backpack is full of other stuff. Do not sneak other things in there.
Please do not.
Thank you so much again for watching or listening to us. If you were listening to us and wish to see our faces, you can find a video version of this podcast on YouTube. Vice versa, if you wish you couldn't see our faces, you can find an audio version on all major podcast platforms. Please feel free to follow, rate, subscribe, comment. However you choose to interact with your media, please do so. Tell your friends, tell your papa, tell your priest all about us.
What?
What? Why not?
Your papa and your priest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, if they've made it this far, they like us and they should be telling everybody.
Sure.
You can send questions to QuestLoreQuestions@gmail.com. You can find us on social media as QuestLorePod. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time on
Take me to your
QuestLore.
bedroom, talking full of